Good afternoon, everybody. Doug Jenkins with the Findlay-Hancock County Chamber of Commerce. We are starting off the week right, talking to one of our newest members here at the Findlay-Hancock County Chamber of Commerce. I'm joined by Orion Jones of True North Motivation. Orion, thanks for joining us today.
No, thank you, Doug. Thanks for having me.
Well, excited to have you as part of the Chamber of Commerce. I've known you a long time, but I'm really excited for this new business venture that you've put together. I think, one, it's exciting for you, but two, also needed in the community and beyond. So let's get into that. What is True North Motivation?
So True North Motivation is a motivational leadership company that I started that focuses on mental health care and mental well-being for employees and managers at all levels of an organization. And it's based off of the I am philosophy for self-worth and self-motivation, and also off of my 4 pillars of forgiveness, gratitude, love, and faith, which I incorporate into my program and talking points so that the people who are in my program actually walk away with tools and coping mechanisms to become the best versions of themselves long term.
Let's talk a little bit about why this is so important for businesses to be mindful of their employees' well-being when it comes to those 4 pillars you described.
Yeah, well, the stats show that, especially with the up and coming generations, with millennials and Gen Zs, that mental health care is a significant aspect in today's workforce, and it can deter work up to 30-40% per worker. And it's kind of a silent epidemic also, where not a lot of employees are going to their managers and saying, hey, I'm struggling mentally. And that's also, on a side note, with men specifically, we're 80% of completed suicides in 2022. So the epidemic of mental health care, suicides, has all been increasing significantly, and in men, but across genders and generations, that mental health care is a significant issue, and it's affecting business production and the quality of employees' lives at their institutions.
Let's talk a little bit about just how this has changed generationally. I know that when I first started working, and sometimes it's industry specific, I know that as a new guy in radio, if I said, hey, I'm just not feeling it today, I know how that would have went over. And I think sometimes we maybe still carry that now. And it doesn't mean like, hey, I got to be out of work or anything like that. It's just being a little bit more open about where we're at as people.
And that's the bottom line, is understanding that society norms have shifted, the way people feel, and the acceptance of the way that emotions are more, lack of a better word, accepted in today's workforce and work culture, where before it was just straight suck it up, buttercup. And I would use the analogy of my dad coming back as a Marine Corps grunt from Vietnam, where, in today's society, we know that our soldiers coming back from war are dealing with significant PTSD and other stresses. When my dad came back, no one cared. He was just expected to suck it up. And, same thing from his father's generation of World War II. They were expected to integrate themselves right back into society. And, we weren't as aware of these problems, positive and negative. But the fact of the matter is that they're a significant issue in today's society.
And it's not so much about, hey, you aren't feeling it today, take the day off. Sometimes that's needed, but it's more about helping people get the help they need so that they don't feel like they need these days off, and that they are feeling great. So that helps them at work. It also helps them in their personal life as well. But if you can get that well-rounded approach, you're not dealing with as many off days. You're dealing with way more productive employees. If you're just looking at it from the employer standpoint, I suppose.
Right. And, creating the best versions of your employees and your managers. I have a philosophy of know thyself to lead others, and creating the best version of you makes you a better leader. And it also makes you a better employee, and understanding how to have self-care and self-love through the mind, body, and spirit triangle of what are you putting in your mind? What are you putting in your body, health and nutrition wise and exercise wise? And then what's your spiritual connection, your faith into your acceptance of a higher power greater than yourself? And it all ties in with that trinity right there of making sure that you're addressing all of those different things to create the best version of you. And in return, you're going to get a better manager, a better employee, and a better leader, and an overall better person that's working for you and with you in your organization.
So let's talk about getting you into businesses to talk to. What does a typical event for you look like?
And that's what's great, is that it can, I can cater to whatever the needs of the consumer is, of the customer is. So if you want me to come in and give a strong hour-long talk and provide easy to use coping mechanisms and strategies that your employees can take home in a day, absolutely no problem. If you want more of a long-term integrated program where that's more of a workshop based, and then also from a leadership, from a management, and from an employee standpoint, I can cater my message towards those things and create myself as an available resource for follow-ups for employees that are saying, hey, I did this, I felt this way, or, I really like this. Do you have any other advice? And so there's a lot of different avenues that we can use in regards to workshops or just a one-time event, just to kind of give a so-called the proverbial shot in the arm of positive motivation and positive self-worth for employees.
Well, and I think just having that one-time event, maybe you have some people come up, talk to you afterwards, and there's just a lot, and then there's a lot of process and the follow-up that can happen after that. So that'd probably be a great place to start. If a business would want to reach out to you to have you come in and speak, what's the best way to get in touch with you?
So email is a wonderful way at truenorthmotivation1@gmail.com. Also, my business phone number is, I wish I had it right here when I do the 567-525-2258. And my website is www.truenorthmotivation.com, and that has my contact information there as well. So I'm across all social media platforms, from not Twitter is the only one I'm not on, but Instagram, Facebook.
Why? There's just so much positivity on it right now.
I know, right? I looked at that, and then it wanted to charge me, and I was like, you know what? I'm not really the message, or So, but across all social media platforms, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. I really like YouTube and LinkedIn from a professional aspect. I really think that the YouTube and LinkedIn portray a much better platform for my messaging. But as my daughters would say, or I'd tell them that I am a tickety-tockety guy now. A tickety-tocketer.
I'm looking forward to your TikToks, Orion. So we'll look forward to that. I'm really excited for you. This is a great space for you. I know how hyped up you are about doing this, and I'm looking forward to you having a lot of success with this. Thanks for joining us today.
No, thank you, Doug. And I just want to finally say that in closing that my message, as I said, can cater towards genders and generations. And so it really is, as I taught business classes last semester, and there is part of a more male dominated aspect where I was a head college baseball coach and kind of that construction worker background, but also with that self-positive reinforcement and self-love and self-care. There's no age or gender that doesn't need to hear that.
Absolutely. Well, Orion, we're happy to have you as a member. Thanks for joining us today. For Orion, I'm Doug. Have a great afternoon, everybody.
Thanks a lot, guys.